Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, The Real Super Sam. Today is another comic book review and I hope you enjoy. Today, Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse comes out in theaters, and for this, I'm making a unique kind of video. I am reviewing Volume 2 of the Ultimate Spider-Man Run, Learning Curve. This is a great read and starts Spider-Man's superhero career off by fighting some small level threats like the Enforcers and introducing him to a big one, Electro. And with the kingpin of crime, Peter Parker sees that stopping criminals or being Spider-Man is bigger than just being a friendly neighborhood superhero. This volume opens up with the first appearance of Ultimate Shocker, who I've given my opinions on in the top 5 Shocker designs video. He's kind of wasted here, beaten in 2 pages. After the fight, Spider-Man sees that the cops are afraid of him, like he's the bad guy. Peter at school hears about a cash reward for a picture of Spider-Man, so of course he enters some. Afterwards, Peter gets a job at the Daily Bugle with editor J. Jonah Jameson. One thing that drives the Ultimate Spider-Man comic is how realistic it is. The Steve Ditko and Stan Lee writing in the 60s was real, but here it's stepped up. The realism drives the rest of the volume. Peter keeps having nightmares about Dennis Carradine killing his Uncle Ben. So at the Bugle, Pete decides to research Dennis based off his driver's license. Doing this leads Peter to finding out about Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of crime. With his powers, and that the kingpin and his thugs are all normal people, Pete decides to go after him, because the way Pete sees it, no one else will dare try to arrest him. Spider-Man finds the Ultimate Enforcers and their normal gathering place and beats them up. Then, a man in the shadows, the Ultimate Big Man, informs Spider-Man on a party Wilson Fisk is throwing Friday night, and as someone with spider powers could do some damage to him the best there. This leads to Pete needing to move a date with MJ, but since this is the Ultimate Comics, they actually act like normal people and move the date, though Pete seems mad that he has to move the date, mad at the criminals he has to stop. At the Bugle, Pete confronts Jameson on the articles about Spider-Man. Jameson tells Pete how it is. People want to cheer, and people want to boo. So Spidey Friday night sneaks into the Fisk Tower during the party and gets caught. And this is when he meets Electro, a metahuman who can fire electricity from his hands. Electro manages to hit Spider-Man, and with one lightning bolt, he's out. It reminds me of Amazing Spider-Man issue 9, where Spider-Man first met Electro, and with one touch, Spider-Man was knocked out. Kingpin surprisingly actually takes off Spider-Man's mask in front of his henchmen, doesn't recognize him, and throws him out a window. Later, the Kingpin attacks and murders the Big Man, learning that Big Man took a piss out of Fisk and he wants to be the new Kingpin of crime. Kingpin even frames Spider-Man for his murder. In Volume 1, the Goblin attacked Midtown High, and now the students are being questioned about it. Peter tells the truth to the interviewer, Doctor. I mention this because it becomes important in Volume 4. After doing some research and planning this time, Spidey decides to go back to Fisk Tower and finally stop Fisk's criminal career. This is definitely a really good Kingpin story. We see him get paranoid after someone with powers attacks him and sneaks into his private business. Kingpin thinks he's untouchable. When he gets brought back to reality, he loses his mind. At the end, Wilson Fisk leaves New York, whereabouts unknown. After Spider-Man reports the tapes of him committing all those criminal acts to the Bugle, Kingpin knows that not even his lawyer will be good enough to help his case. Electro in the Ultimate Universe is an action tool, someone super powerful but not really smart. Specifically here, he isn't completely blue electricity like when he next appears in Ultimate 6 in Volume 9. He wears black here too, which definitely understands that he is nothing like the 616 Electro. With the Enforcers, they are given some depth, like how Ox keeps regarding what he did to the Big Man, holding him while Fisk kills him. This was all about how Spider-Man fits into the bigger world of crime organization and how it's changing now thanks to the superpowers occurring. Even with this being a mature story, it does have its funny moments. We see that the students and kids love the new superhero Spider-Man appearing in New York and talk all about him. The last issue in this volume is a one-shot about Peter telling Mary Jane his secret identity. It seems natural and a realistic thing for a high schooler to do, since MJ is the only person he's told this to. This gets a 10 out of 10. It is one of the best Spider-Man stories in general. The only part I was a bit underwhelmed by was Electro. Bye guys, and have a good day.